audacity is defined as the willingness to take bold risk. It's also defined as rude or disrespectful behavior, impudence. Hi, this is Barry Phillips of 10-Minute Torah, day number 4, a Torah portion, Qorach. And yes, we're still trying to finish up chapter 16. In verse number 41, we read, "But all the congregation of the children of Israel," how many of them? All of the congregation of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron on the next day. This is the day after the earth has opened up and swallowed Qorach's family, Dathan, Aviram, and their families, and they went down into the bowels of the earth alive, screaming, panicked, and then the earth shut up over them and they were just gone. This is the day after 250 men in Qorach were consumed and a fire blazed from the throne of Elohim over the mercy seat. These people just gone. And now the next day, all of the congregation of Israel shows up and they're grumbling against Moshe and Aaron. And this is what they said: You have killed the people of Yahweh. And it came to be when the congregation assembled against Moshe and against Aaron that they turned toward the tent of appointment, and see, the cloud covered it, and the esteem of Yahweh appeared. Uh-oh. This is not good. Audacity. These people and this congregation had the audacity to show up the next morning and take their pointing fingers and stick them in the face of Moshe and Aaron and say, "You killed the righteous people." Well, a couple of things are out of kilter here. Number one, evidently the people had been mumbling and grumbling about this all night. Now, obviously, they're in shock. It's just not every day that you see the earth open up and swallow people alive and then close back up. That had to be a very traumatic, overwhelming, incredibly frightening experience. These were people they knew. These were people that had names of renown. To see the sons of Aaron carrying smoking ruins of bodies out to be buried out of the courtyard of the Most High. And the people watching this, they had to have been overwhelmed in terror. But not so bad that they didn't formulate a posse of an entire nation, at this point still numbering millions perhaps, to go and oppose Moshe and Aaron. They did not know who they were dealing with. They were not just dealing with two brothers. They were dealing with Yahweh. They had the audacity to look at Moshe and say, "You killed righteous people." Something else that's out of kilter then is that they had to be forgetting something. Moshe didn't want this job. Matter of fact, he tried for an extended period of time to talk Yahweh out of taking him on for this job and to get somebody else. When he showed up, he didn't do a very good job at first, but the on-the-job training proved to be very, very effective. And by the time that Moshe was through with Pharaoh, Pharaoh was dead in the water. They seem to have forgotten that the Sea of Reeds split when Moshe held the rod of Elohim out over that water and the wind began to blow. They seem to have forgotten that they not only went through the midst of those waters, but on dry ground. They stirred up dust in the middle of the sea when they went across. The same sea that destroyed Pharaoh's army behind them. They forgot all about the camp meeting that they had on the other side, jumping and dancing and singing and prophesying. They forgot about the times that water was provided for them, quail in abundance. They forgot about the signs, the wonders, the miracles, the very voice of Elohim speaking to Moshe in their own hearing. They forgot about how Yah had already forgiven them about the gold calf, for which they should have been annihilated. They forgot how that he offered to them then and commissioned them to build the tabernacle. Even though they had built an idol, he nonetheless forgave them because Moshe interceded for them. On multiple occasions, Moshe's already stood between them and the wrathful finger of Elohim, and they have survived. They seem to have forgotten about this. Who do these people think they are? In our day, it's not so much a personal attack against Moshe. No, we'll make movies about him and we'll honor and glorify him. But that which he represents, the Torah of Yahweh our Elohim, is rejected. Who do we think we are to reject the Torah of Yah and say it no longer has any power, any authority, it's no longer to be applied to our life? We've changed our mind because we believe that Yah changed his mind. And all of the time and effort and lives lost over the Torah, it's all over and done with. Now it's been done away with completely, and our Messiah has come and given us the law of love and grace and mercy instead. Who do we think we are? We think more highly of ourselves than I think we ought. So the people began to mumble, grumble, and a plague breaks out. Moshe and Aaron are on their faces in fear of the holy terror of Yahweh. And I can just see the scene. They're on their faces, and Moshe, without looking up, he's mouthing into the dirt loud enough for Aaron, his brother, who was beside him, to hear. Go get your fire pan and put coals in it and go stand between the living and the dead. And I can see Aaron looking over without raising his head. You gotta be kidding me. Really? But Aaron does not hesitate. The very people that are maligning and accusing these two men that have resisted them to their core, and these two men's estimation are worth saving. They love them enough to give themselves for them. Aaron stands between the living and the dead, but only after 14,700 people have died. Yeshua loves those that have rejected him enough to have died for them. How many people have nonetheless perished unnecessarily in their sins because they believe something contrary? They want to accuse the Creator instead of accept him. They're angry. They're upset. Things not gone their way, and they point their finger at the Most High and accuse him. How do you tell a man who is deceived that they're deceived when they believe deception to be truth and the truth that you offer to them to be a lie? You can't. Only Yah can do that. And Yah is about to convince this world of who he is. We'll finish tomorrow. Till then, shalom.